I invested $500 into a dividend ETF that pays out every single week, and what happened over the past month genuinely surprised me. This ETF is called ULTY, and it's a part of the YieldMax family, known for pushing the boundaries on income generation with their high yield ETFs. In today's video, I'll show you how this fund works, what makes it unique, the risks involved, and finally, I'll reveal how much my $500 investment paid me over the last 4 weeks. ULTY stands for the Ultra Income Strategy ETF, created by YieldMax, and it's been turning heads in 2025 for two big reasons. First, it pays dividends weekly, not monthly or quarterly like most ETFs. That kind of cash flow frequency is rare in the world of public funds. Second, it's showing a very high yield right now, roughly 70% annualized. Now, this number changes often because it's based on the trailing 12-month dividend payments and the current share price, but it's still shockingly high. For me, that's something that caught my attention. A high annualized yield with distributions on a weekly basis. And like many other dividend investors and passive income seekers, it's something that got me very curious. It's not something like SCHD or VYM where they focus on established companies with long-term dividend histories. ULTY takes a completely different approach by combining high volatility stocks and option strategies to maximize yield. Before we get into my results, let's explore how this ETF actually generates this kind of weekly income. ULT works by holding a rotating basket of 20 to 30 high volatility stocks. Companies like Tesla, Robinhood, Upstart, Palantir, AST Space Mobile, and more. These stocks have a liquid options market, which allows YieldMax to execute option strategies to generate income. These can include callers, call spreads, put spreads, which are used to collect premiums on a weekly basis. That premium is then distributed to shareholders in the form of dividends every single week. Since this fund is also actively managed, this means that YieldMax adjusts the stock holdings and strategy regularly depending on market conditions. So now that we know ULTY runs on an options trading strategy, that can work in most market environments. But if the strategy underperforms or volatility dries up, the fund's net asset value or NAV can steadily decline. Some of YieldMax's other ETFs have shown NAV erosion over time, and although ULTY switched to this new strategy in March 2025, it's only been about 4 months since the change. With that, the NAV has hovered between $6 to $6.35, but we haven't seen it go through a full market stress test just yet. The next risk is this fund's exposure to high volatility stocks. Names like Tesla, Palantir, and Robinhood. These companies can swing hard, and if multiple holdings drop in the same week, the option strategy could struggle. That means both the NAV and dividend payments could take a hit. Now, for me personally, these risks were worth exploring, but only with a small position. I put $500 in as an experiment, and now it's time to show you the results after 4 weeks of this ETF. So my first purchase was on June 9th, 2025, and I picked up about 80.9 shares at a price of $6.18, which came out to just under $500 invested. Now, here's how the payouts went. June 13th, $7.69, June 23rd, $7.09, June 27th, $7.71, and July 7th, $7.95. At the time I'm filming this, the dividend week for July 11th has been declared at 9.6 cents per share, which is in line with the others. Here's a quick breakdown of the numbers in a table, showing what was declared per share, the taxes I had to pay, and what actually hit my account. The declared dividends ranged from 8.7 cents to 9.5 cents per share, and after tax, I ended up with around $26 net after 4 weeks. That works out to about 1.5% yield per week, or just under 6% monthly yield, which is honestly wild for an ETF. But before you get too excited, the next thing you're probably wondering is this sustainable and what's happening to the NAV? So my entry price was about $6.18 on June 9th, And surprisingly, ULTY's price has stayed in a tight range, hovering between $6.10 to about $6.30 over the past month. That actually caught me off guard, since my experience with other YieldMax ETFs involved more noticeable NAV erosion over time. So all in, this has been my best experience with a YieldMax ETF so far. The weekly income has been consistent and the NAV has held up better than I expected. And for a $500 test position, I'm honestly impressed with the results. Now, I'm not making this a core holding in my portfolio, but I'm definitely interested enough to increase my allocation slightly and see how it continues to perform. That said, these YieldMax funds do carry risk, and as tempting as the cash flow is, I want to make sure I have some safeguards in place. So I'm approaching this with a very cautious mindset. Now, let me know in the comments below, are you holding any YieldMax ETFs right now? Are you considering ULTY? And if you want to keep tracking this position and for me to share monthly income updates, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll keep the reports coming. Just a reminder, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research or speak to a professional before making any investment decision.